Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel where we look at things and talk about them, and it's also known as the Donut Boy channel. Well, been a good few weeks since I've posted anything, and for I don't want to say for good reason, just for reasons, but combination of having to, like I've said in previous videos, I do some part-time home maintenance, and in that home maintenance it covers work for a landlord that has multiple units, and most of them units are mobile homes. And yeah, that Milton storm, like I said in my also previous videos, Milton pretty much come right through our area where we live here off of Florida coast. He come barreling right on through here. It was a mess. Let me tell you, it was pretty bad. Well, been dealing with that because I've been running around trying to do a lot of repair work from storm damage, both external, and some of the places got their roofs where they were leaking and roof overs and things like that broke up, including my own property. And it'd been a mess. I'd been running around with my head off trying to get things done, and good as possible. A lot of them have to be insurance related damage. A lot of them, some of them were bad enough that FEMA had to respond to. But we're getting there. Here we are in the, what is it? Pretty much going in the second week of November. Looking at Thanksgiving coming. Starting to get turned around. People are starting to get a little more normal looking. A lot of the trees are the tree services has been going around and getting all the debris up, because they have it where you take all your cut debris. And like I said in my previously, somebody, I don't know if we had forethought. Somebody put some forethought in their head. Somebody man upstairs might have put some forethought in our heads. We bought us a mid-sized tractor, a pretty beefy Massey Ferguson. It's not real tiny. It's a pretty big tractor with a little small bush hog finishing mower behind it. We had just gotten that thing refurbed, and there's gold, there's silver. I know some reason silver's in there, gold's out here, and for some reason our old man Duck has decided he likes walking around out in our garden lately. I don't know why. He's a good boy. You can see he's very calm for a duck. He's right there. He's a good boy. Muscovy. That's what we call him, Muscovy Duck, by the way. Anyway, we bought that Massey Ferguson, and boy, I'm sure glad we did, because we've been working the devil out of that poor thing. It's not a new mower by any means, but not a new mower by any means. Tractor. It's 3-cylinder diesel tractor, so it gives you an idea. It is a tractor. Most, as you know, a garden mower or lawn mower, you're not using diesel fuel for. This thing's a 3-cylinder diesel. Anyway, must have had some kind of foresight, because it was only a scant couple weeks before that Milton come through. We had bought that thing, had enough time to go through it, put grease in all the Zerk fittings and give it a tune up, and refurbish the finishing mower bush hog behind it. And then my youngest son also invested in a front end loader tractor that he actually buys and sells, and he had just bought that off of auction, and he's been doing some refurbished work to that before he resells it. And boy, we've been working that thing too, you can imagine. Anyway, combination of them two tractors, our own equipment that we've always had, and other other things. Getting the rentals fixed back up, get our own place fixed up. We had a whole lot of trees knocked down in our rear property, and our back property now pretty much consists of pretty much dirt, not too much trees anymore. The people gather up the trees. These great big trucks, big front truck with a giant box on it, towed behind by another giant rear trailer box, and then in between the two is a big claw grabber. The guy drives up to a big thing of roadside debris, gets out, parks his truck, sits on that little grabber machine that's mounted almost between the two things, picks up your stuff, drops it in the two trucks, back and forth. But like I said, we had to get up a lot of debris. Got pretty much all our vehicles are sitting in line where you can see, in fact, you can see this line. That was a big old tree we dragged on out there to get to that tree guy. You can see that line dragged along the concrete, come from that line coming all the way from over here, because we had a big old tree trying to fall on my barn. Didn't fall, but it was trying to. So we got that up. And you can see when we put it behind the tractor, after we cut that tree down, look at that line going down that driveway. All the way out to the gate. We did have a big batch of trees right here. They're gone now. Tractor finished cleaning them out. Yeah, there's I got it covered up because the old girl, she's old and she don't like getting rained on. She had lived her life underneath a carport when it was parked, and it got rained on a couple times here because I don't really have a carport ready for it yet. And she don't like getting rained on. She gets very, very, I don't feel like easy. She starts one turn start if it's dry and not been rained on. That thing gets rained on, there's something under that hood that don't like getting water on it, and she gets very cranky when she don't get rained on. And we normally have a, like I said, bush hog finishing mower behind that thing, and right now we got a big trailer because all we've been doing, there's them two sheds that got hit by the tree. We got the tree cut. You can see it smashed the devil out of them sheds and the awning between them. Those were two normal sheds, and it fell that way, like this. Standing up here, fell like that. And it's smushy. You can see where the roof got bent in right there. You can kind of see that. Right there at the top. That's where part of the branches were at. And you can see where it bent that door down. Flat, smashed that awning down flat. And the roots, there's the tree, big quad tree. I call it quad tree because there's actually 4 things coming out of it. Let me shrink this video back down. It was 4 things, and you can kind of see them right now cut. But part of the root structure, you can see it sticking out of the ground right there, was underneath the foundation of that shed full of kind of old stuff from collected up from cleaning up other rentals and stuff. And it just, because it was, we didn't know that root had grown under that shed, it just lifted that shed right up in there, and that was it. But we been working. I mean, like I said, I'm no youngster, neither my wife, and our oldest son been helping, our youngest son been helping, and getting a lot done. I mean, like I said, we still got quite a few things. My son's going to take his front end bucket on that tractor he has right now to try to help us straighten this awning. You see where the tree fell and hit the awning. Move right here, we can see it a little better. There you go. Hit that awning, bent it down. You can see where it bent in, bent the awning down good. Can't really see how many panels. 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like 6 or 7 panels total. Got bent pretty good. You can see them under there. There's what they're supposed to look like. There's where they get bent down. So what I'm going to do is get them, bring that bucket, lift it up and thus put some crossboards on the end of that bucket and just slowly raise it right where the branch hit from the top side and bring those panels up straight, and probably put some reinforcement angle iron or maybe some C-channel beams or something. Excuse me, it's early morning, so I'm going to be coughing a little bit. Anyway, let me try to focus this thing. There we go. There's a little Jeep I had in previous thing. She survived. I covered her up. We had her out in the middle. It's pulled off to the side right now because it was a mess out here. There's that finishing mower thing, by the way. That call it a bush hog finishing mower because it's a 3-blade unit, where most bush hogs are 2 pivoting bars, a blade, I want to call them, underneath. This has actual 3 sharpened blades on it, okay? One position about there. That's a cover for all the pulleys. There's the transfer between the PTO drive shaft, comes from a tractor. That thing sticks up like this, comes off the rear PTO, drives a gear work in there. You got to grease that up, run gear grease in there. And then there's a great big wheel. That thing turns. You can see it under there, and that's belt driven. There's a fan belt on there, or whatever you want to call that, a belt. And that belt runs around 3 more pulleys. Runs 3 very nice sharp blades that I get to sharpen, which is, they're pretty easy to, you can lift this thing up while it's on the back of the tractor and lift it up and take your angle grinder, sharpen them blades up good. This thing's also supported on, believe it or not, those things look like casters. They're little air-filled tires. How do you like that? That thing's got 30 pounds of air in it. There's 4 of them, 1 on each corner. They're on pivots that you grease. See them? And they run around keeping this thing at a whatever height you drop your 3-point hitch down to. This keeps it on that certain level, and has a little roller thing on the front. That's just to see how it's off the ground, but that's if you come up on a debris, it keeps your deck from hitting that. It'll lift your deck up. So it's real neat. The whole thing's real neat the way it works. And yeah, this thing's been a big help, because as the tree limbs, leaves, and debris come down, it's all small stuff. You got enough to do without trying to rake up a bunch of little crap. So I take that, and after we cleared some trees, I'd put that on the back of that tractor over there and run that thing around. It grinds that stuff up into mulch, and then you just can leave it. You ain't got to deal with it. They got up some of our privacy fence that broke up. That's what's laying there now. Got all that cleared up. Still got to get this roof over redone. You see what it got. It got tore plumb off. All that's left is one end. There's the other end. The rest of it went to Mars. So, and there's my youngest son's big tractor right there. He's been working that thing, devil out of that thing too, but it's a big tractor. You can see there. There you go. Let me focus on that. That's a big woman right there. Look at her. She got a big bucket on the front. Doesn't have any implements on the back, but that's yeah, you can see that's a beefy tractor right there. I mean, you see mine, my Massey Ferguson over there, what mid-size. That's a regular old farm tractor right there you're looking at. Look at that thing. She's a beast. But boy, she's been a good help. Back here, had a lot of trees. They all ended up down, most of them. And you can see where my youngest son been taking his big tractor, running his tractor, pulling them trees up, getting them down. We get them cut up, put out front. And then I come through with my mulch bush hog and grind. You can grind all the, but you can see all the tire marks, and it was a mess. There's a lot of property back here, and let me tell you, it was a mess. I ain't gonna mince words. Like I said, it was what you can see over there, that's neighbor's tree line right there, and you kind of see out back, that's the county's access canal back there, drainage canal, where the other trees are. Most of this area was like that. Okay, you can see the trees. That's the sad part. Well, that storm come through, and a bunch of this stuff just, it dominoed a lot of the trees as they fell on the tree in front of them, that tree fell on the tree in front of it, and boom, 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 boom. And what used to be trees and green is now just dirt. It'll come back. We're probably gonna get our hands on some more small, I'm thinking small oak trees, maybe a few pines. Pines like to snap during them storms, I'm not gonna kid you. But we'll get our hands on a few trees. We're gonna lay them out in a way that we can keep a drive-through or tractor through out here going. But you can see it was a mess back here. That right there, that pile is just that's just dirt and stuff I ground up with my Massey Ferguson and other stuff. But you can see it. You can see the dips and weaves of where trees, the root structure come up, and then my son would take his New Holland, that big blue tractor over there, and he'd pull that dirt back over it and get it down flat where we can continue to drive over either with our work truck or with my smaller Massey Ferguson tractor. But there's another pile back there, you can see it. I'm not gonna kid you, it was a mess. But we've been working with it, working hard. Like I said, I'm not exactly a youngster no more, and this hasn't been no fun. You get these natural disasters. Maybe when I was back in my 20s and 30s, I could run around like I had a cape on. But man, between our tropical, and right now it may be November, but we still got humidity and 90s for temperatures, and this stuff gives you a beat down. This whole area, this was weird in here. This growth, this weird. You can kind of see it. I don't know if you can see it up close. I'm getting close. You can see that. You can see it's like weird. See it? Weird lines. I don't know what this stuff is. Anyway, it's something that grows here wild. Anyway, this whole area was like that, but it was pretty deep. About like that. I come through here with that finishing mower bush hog thing I got, and yeah, it tore it down pretty good. It's gotten it cleaned up really nicely. Looks real good now. And my wife and I have a small camper. We might, since we're at the very back, we're almost at the back of the property. That back there, if you're wondering, you can see it in that tree line. You can see some wood looking stuff. That's not some old building. That's a tree house that I built, I want to say 25 years ago. And and it was a real neat tree house. I mean, it was a tree house. You get up in there, had a little small hut up there, ladder. It was neat. It was neat. Okay. I even had some solar light and stuff out there. But it was, you can see I'll get close. But like good year and a half after I built the thing, we had 3 hurricanes. Not real strong ones, but low-level hurricanes. They crisscrossed our state. Boom, 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 one after another. The problem is these trees, every one of the hurricanes, they'd get to blowing around. That's what trees do. If it's not too strong and it don't break them, because those are oaks, don't break them, they'll just move around. But the problem is it moved them around, and it just popped the beam points off, and I'm walking up to it because, yeah, here I am, getting close, excuse me, for a frog in my throat. And you can see that was up there pretty good. That was the floor of the hut I had built up there. It was like that. And my kids loved it. Now, I mean, mind you, they were kids then. They just loved it. They loved coming out here, and they played Nerf, them little soft dart Nerf guns. They played Nerf gun battle warfare, where some of them would be up in the tree house and defending, the other ones would come up, and they had all manner of fun. I have 3 sons, and then their friends would come over, and they'd camp out. Like I said, I had some solar lights and battery lights. They'd spend the night in the hut up there and stuff. They had a good old time. This was a pretty neat, fun area for them. And well, after the hurricane tore it all up, it just kind of ran into ruin. Yeah, you can see walking towards the back of the property. There's one tree we can't get to. My son couldn't get to it because it actually was in the county part of, you can see it, part of it right there. Yeah, it was a big, you can see it was a big tree. It's laying there on its side. It was in the, the base of it is in the ditch, the county's drainage ditch. It fell, and there just isn't nothing we can do with it because you can't get back there. You can see I'm walking up to a fence. Which actually my fence, but this fence is off. The county side is over there. This is my property over here. There's the base of that tree that fell back there that we haven't been able to get up. See how it was growing? It was actually growing in the drainage ditch down there. There's a drainage ditch running along there. See it? You can tell it ain't been maintained in a long time. You can see where it toppled and pulled the roots and everything right up. There's the tree. And it kind of squashed part of my fence, my back fence. Everybody's got squash fence right now. There ain't nobody you're gonna drive by their place right now in Florida and not find a squash fence from stuff falling. And then there's the front part of that tree. And it goes, oh, this was the typical of our trees that were laying down back here. Look how far down that's going. All the way down there. But yeah, that was the typical of our, like I said, most of our trees back here, like there's one still on our property line. Oh, that's just outside the property line right there. But that one is in the corner still of our place. Let me get that lit up. There we go. That one right there you can still see. That one. Those tree sizes right there, see the height and everything? That was the typical. And then even over there, that one over there, that, and then even in the corner, if you consider the oaks, that was the typical of our trees we had back here. And I mean, so many of them. You can see where my son had filled it up, and you can see his tractor marks. You can see where the tree come up. There was one big one here. It come up. You can see an indention in the ground here. That was a tree come up. You can see an indention in the ground there. That was another tree. They just, all the roots, just because the rain had softened the ground so much, when that wind blew 120 mile an hour, it just pulled them root bundles right up out of the ground. Once them trees come up, root up, they're done. You just got to cut them up, take them out, either put them in burn piles or get them cut up. And right now, like I said, the county's got these collection guys running around with their big double trucks and grabbing stuff up. But then on top of everything else, my son coming through here with his with that big excuse me, with that big tractor over there. You see it sitting behind my Jeep. There it is. You can see how big that tractor is compared to my Jeep. There's the Jeep sitting in front of it. Look how big that tractor is. Look at that. He was coming through here. You can see his tractor marks. See the tractor tire marks right there? And he bumped that tree right there. Okay, I'm walking up to it. He bumped that tree over. You see that tree fell over a little bit. It uprooted some. So he was going to go ahead and finish pulling it over and get it on out there. Because like I said, once them roots come up, they're done. That thing's just going to be a dead tree. What he didn't know is in the base of that tree, on the back side, you can kind of see its little indention in there, was a beehive. And I'm standing way over there dragging some tree limbs. All of a sudden I hear his tractor shut off real fast. I'm like, that's kind of a funny place for him to shut his tractor off. He come running, herd of bees right on his tail, and boy did he get stung up. I mean to tell you, he had good, somewhere between he probably had between 30 and 40 bee stings. My oldest son and me had to pluck out of his back hair. He had a bee sting right on the tip of his nose. And let me tell you, that put him down for a good few days. He had to rest up after that, because that was, you take a good 30, 40 bee stings, and he's a big boy. He's about 6'5" and built like a rhinoceros. And but that put him down for a good couple days, because you get that many bee stings, you swell up and be hurting, and he was both. So he took a break from that. We continued to just cut up. I called a beekeeper out, and we got that. Got the first, he brought the hive out, set up a hive box out there in the middle of, you see that blue barrel, he kind of had it out from there right in the middle, set up and got where all them bees that were over there, they flew to the thing he set up with the queen in it. He left that for a couple nights, come back that third evening, grabbed it up, took it away, and every bee flew with it, went with it. So they're gone, they went to a new home, and it won't be underfoot with us trying to clean this property up. So anyhow, well, hope everyone out there doing good. I ain't gonna kid you, all this work and toiling, it's a little rough on the nerves too. I don't want to call it post-storm depression, but it was probably dang close. I was mentally hurting as much as physically, and there's a bunch more of our privacy fence knocked down, and we're just going to get it on out of there. But yeah, when everything gets all beat up and you have to go to other places and try to help them, and everybody's we're in a society where, I hate to say it, people, try to be understanding, try to be heartfelt, try to think of other people, because I know the world seems to be all about you, and you want it to be all about you. Goodness knows, everybody, you know, I mean, yeah, you yourself, you have your life, your family, things are important, but try to remember other people are out there too, and you know, just don't get too selfish, don't get too me is fine, but me, you, them, us, you know, we all are people, and people, everybody needs to help each other as well as helping themselves. So try to remember helping each other too. Don't be that kind of person that steps over a person in need. Be that person who leans over and says, do you need help, buddy? You know, that's all you got to do. Even if you just, sometimes people just need to hear it. Yeah, I've come across a lot of little selfishness, trying to get these places fixed up, and yeah, try to remember that, you know, there's house there and home there, mobile home there, they had damage, they still trying to get trees up. You can see it off right there. They got trees still piled up in their yard right there. This is where a tree was here, and it's gone. I had to clean that out with that big tractor. Half our gate blew away. Luckily I had one more farm gate out back, and I brought it up here. I still got to put a pole in, anchor it with some concrete. I got to turn that gate around. You can reverse the hinges on it, and we're just going to have it as a double gate. This used to be like privacy fence here. On this side used to be privacy fence. That blew away. This is the gate that was here, so now it's just going to be these double gates up front. But you know, you work around, you got to do a few changes, work around some things. There's my white line, there's my center line right there from my tree. Work around things. Like I said, try to be understanding. Not everybody has catastrophes all the time, but everybody's got lives, everybody's got things going on. Try to understand yourself, understand your family, and understand that other people have the same thing. They got themselves, they got their families, and part of what makes people is having the ability to care for others, you know, and be a little more understanding. So y'all take care of yourselves, and hopefully it won't be too long before I make another video. It's just I've been so busy and so tired, and like I said, kind of dealing with my with my own upsetness over things. But y'all take care of yourselves, and until next time.